Well, Buddha himself lived in North India and traveled and taught widely uh, during the 45 years following his enlightenment. But he didn't write teachings himself. He wasn't a philosopher, but rather he taught how to meditate and how to practice for cultivating inner joy, inner clarity, and inner wisdom. So if we look at Buddhism in India, we can say sometimes people use the word early Buddhism, and that's really referring to the kind of Buddhism that was written down in the early conferences. And the main one being during Emperor or King Ashoka's period, 100 years or so after the Buddha had passed away. So quite late. Now, whoever showed up at that conference and whatever they held of Buddha's teachings, you could say, whatever they remembered was spoken and transferred from oral to written. So we can call that King Ashoka's brand of Buddhism, or Emperor Ashoka's brand of Buddhism. It was a language he preferred, the written script he preferred, and the approach to enlightenment he preferred. And then a few hundred years later came Nagarjuna, often known as the second Buddha. And he did not accept the conference of Ashoka as final. And so Nagarjuna gathered many other lineages from the Buddha and many other sutras and tantras and so forth taught by the Buddha that were not recited or represented at that first conference. So we could say in India, two forms of Buddhism developed. Pali Buddhism under Emperor Ashoka's rule, and then we can say Sanskrit Buddhism. Sometimes these are called Hinayana and Mahayana in Indian literature. In modern day world, they're often called Theravada and Mahayana. Often we say Buddha himself taught three levels of teaching: outer, inner, secret, and the secret being Tantra, the other outer, inner being the Hinayana, Mahayana. And so all three of these flourished extensively in India. And the main thing with Tibet is that Tibetan Buddhism is that when these three were at their peak in India, they flowed into Tibet in all three forms. And the speciality of Tibet is because they were very close to the Indian border. And of course, Buddha was from North India. He was born in Nepal, just a few hundred miles from the Tibet border. And Tibet's east-west border with Buddhist India, Buddhist Nepal, was well over 1,000 miles long. So the Buddhism flowing into Tibet flowed continually for a very, very long period of time.